people, how are you doing? I am good. I hope you guys are good as well. Welcome to Reimagining the Workplace, another episode that is interesting. And you people, you've not been commenting as I would like to see you comment about this channel, about the things that I speak about, and about the things that you want for this channel to tackle, whatever it takes. I told you guys this channel is for us and anything for you guys, because our aim is to create very beautiful workspaces, because I realized there are so many people who are suffering at the workplace. Most people don't like their jobs. They do their jobs just because they need a paycheck at the end of every month, or because they have to be seen to be working, because staying at home sometimes is looked down upon, and therefore people stay at very toxic workplaces just because they have to. Yeah, so let's make this easy to navigate and bearable by discussing these things, highlighting these things, because I also realize that most people don't even know that they are working at toxic workplaces, or don't even understand what is going on. Yeah, so let's do this together. Okay guys, so in today's episode we are going to discuss things to do as a new employee in any company, in any organization. What are you supposed to do? What are you not supposed to do? What are the do's and don'ts? Okay, that sounds funny, but yeah, what are the do's and don'ts when you're a new employee in each company? And just to start with, I feel like companies don't spend a lot of time, or maybe it's the companies that I have worked for before. They do not invest a lot in inducting employees, or they don't pay attention to that. Maybe it's the companies that I've worked for, because I know there are a few companies, some companies that do really take induction seriously. And I just want to talk about the few things based on my experience that I think you as a new employee in a new company, you should do or you shouldn't do in order for you to survive. First of all, I think in my experience working, the first week of working in a new environment is the most daunting thing for any employee to do. Maybe it's just me, but I think it happens to so many people, because this is a new place. You don't know people there. You don't know what goes around in that company. You basically don't know anything. You're just a new employee, and you just, especially the first 2 days, oh my god. Whew. When you don't know, you don't know. So I have worked for I have worked for 4 companies, actively working in office spaces for 4 companies. And every time I go to a company, even though the role is the same, I am an administrator stroke HR, but every time I work for I join a new company, it's always hard, very hard, because companies, even though the role is that they have employed you for is the same as the role that you are employed on the previous company. That's what I'm trying to say. Companies have different ways in which they run themselves. All companies have different policies. It can be an institution. The same way an administrator in an institution cannot work or cannot have the same duties as an administrator in, say, a construction company or a manufacturing company. Things just don't run the same way. It's like a family. if you're in a family, families are basically the same. There's mom, dad, and children, but the way a family runs is different based on so many things. How many children do you have? Where do you live? Where do your kids go to school? It's different. So everyone needs, every new employee needs induction. They need to be inducted. They need to be shown around. They need to be trained. So today, because I have suffered before, as in those few places that I have worked for, places, in the few places that I have worked for, I have really suffered, and I took it upon myself to just share this information with you. It may help, who knows. So what's the number one thing that you should do as new employee? Number one thing, be professional. When you join a new company and you're trying to see how everything runs, be professional. Get to work on time. Even if you see your colleagues maybe in the same department coming to work late or not being professional, don't follow suit. Just be professional. Okay? Do not copy people that you find in an organization. Do not do what they are doing, especially if it's not the right thing. Do the right thing. Remember, you are employed alone. You didn't come to that company with other people, and even if it's a group of people that were employed or were hired at the same time, you are not them. Everyone knows why they came there, why they were interested in working for this company, and therefore you're basically on your own. So do the right thing. Do the right thing. Don't follow suit. Even if that's what the majority of the people are doing, don't do it. Just be professional. Get to work early, on time. Work, do your job. Do everything correctly. And something else that that is related to being professional that I noticed is dress decently, dress professionally. Sometimes it's not well defined on your employment letter how to dress up for your job, even though sometimes it's more or less the same. There are companies that we know, like banks for example, we know that people dress up in suits. So that one is clear. But some companies don't care. Like for all the companies that I've worked for, I am lucky. I've never worked for a company that requires me to dress officially, like in suits, which I don't like. So it worked for me. It was an advantage for me. What they call smart casual. Don't come in a suit to work in a suit unless you want. Nobody was asked or if people dressed up in suits, but you are required to dress up smartly. Smart casual. Be smart and be presentable. Yeah, so some companies require that, but as a new employee, you're supposed to dress up decently, at least decently, until now you learn the culture of the organization, whether it's okay to come to work in jeans, because some companies don't mind if you come to work in jeans as long as you deliver. Yeah, so dress up well. I've just remembered a story about there's a place I worked in, and we had a few interns who had joined us to work with us. So they worked for maybe a month or so. But in the third month, when they were almost finishing their internship, one of the girls, I don't know what happened to her. She started coming to work dressed, very college like, very weirdly. And we noticed, because of course people are going to interact with her, we are going to see her every day. So I remember one day she was asked to, like, she was returned home, she was asked to return home and go and dress up well, then come back to the office. So you can imagine how embarrassing that was, because I felt embarrassed for her. So you can imagine how embarrassing that was for her, getting into a matatu, going back home. By the time she gets home, dresses up decently and comes to the office. Like, why do you have to take yourself through that? And I have been a victim too. I worked for a company. This was my first time to work in an office environment. I had done casual jobs here and there, but the first place that I worked for, in an admin, I think I was a clerk, or what do they call it, data entry officer. So my saloonist suggested that I do a hairstyle that I did not like. I knew I didn't like it, but she convinced me that it looked very nice on me, like I looked okay. And even after the salon, everyone I met, they said, "Oh, you're looking good, Kelly," blah 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 nini. And I thought, okay. So it was a Monday. I go to the office, kawaida, and now the office, you entered the main door, then you walked through a corridor where there are offices, and the overall boss's office, you had to walk past his office to go to the main hall where everyone else's office was, if that makes sense. So he saw me, and he was a jongo, he was a white guy. So he saw me and he didn't like my hairstyle. So he sent an email to my immediate boss and said tell her to undo that hair right away, to go home and undo that hair right away. You guys, first of all, I thank God for my immediate boss that time. He was so graceful. He liked me for some reason. So he knew that was really embarrassing to come to me and tell me. So he didn't tell me. I don't know. I came to learn later that he went, talked to the overall boss and said, "You see, she's already here. Let her work for today. I'll let her know in the evening before she leaves. Because she's already here, she's going to waste time going back home and coming back. So let's be graceful to her today. I will let her know in the evening." He knew if he told me then, because it was in the morning, that would have distracted my day completely and I wasn't going to work. And funny enough, everyone else in the office thought I looked okay. Anyway, so he told me, my immediate boss now called me in the evening just before we closed for the day and had me sit beside him, and he opened the email and he let me read it. You guys, I have never been so embarrassed. Yeah, but it was good because it was home time. So I just left. I told him, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to undo it." I went back to the same saloonist and she undid my hair, and the following day I just came to work with kawaida hair, unplaited and done. And that was the end of my relationship with weaves. I think it was it a weave or a wig? I don't even know. I don't know these things, man. That's why I do dreadlocks. I'm a dreadlocks girl. But that was the first and the last time I ever wore a weave. I think it was a weave or a wig. Oh my god, I don't know the difference between these things, you guys, but it was one of those. Yeah, so my point is, dress well, dress decently, have your hair plaited nicely. Don't have funny hairstyles. Don't go to work looking like a prostitute, for lack of a better word. Go to work looking like a decent person, a person who understands why they are there and who understands that they should command respect. Let me tell you something about dressing up, especially in the work environment. People in the office, people that you work with, respect you for how you dress. There's a respect that comes to you based on how you dress yourself, how you dress your body. There's definitely some respect that comes with that. And if you want people to take you seriously in the office, dress like a serious person. Don't go to work dressed scantily, or it's okay to wear mini skirts and mini dresses, but let them not be too mini that they distract others from working or invite unsolicited behavior from your colleagues. It's not worth it. It's going to distract you from work. It's going to distract others from work. It's basically just unprofessional. So let's try, as new employees, just do what is right as you try to learn how things are done in an office environment. Okay? The next other thing that you should not do as a newly employed person in a new company, please go slow when it comes to making friends. Please don't be in a hurry to fit in. Do not be in a hurry to make friends. Do not be in a hurry to fit in. Slow down, sit back. You're going to be looked upon as a weird person, maybe, because you're always probably alone, or you're not contributing into the company grapevine, or general stories or any comments that colleagues will be talking about, because colleagues talk about so many things, and you're there, you're quiet, you're not contributing any points. And I know it's hard, but please do not be in a hurry. Do not be in a hurry to fit in. First of all, it's important to understand that friendships in the office are complicated. They are like a sport. Friendships in the office are complicated, trust me. You know that. I know I'm talking to people who are working in offices or in any other environment. You guys, forgive me, I keep on speaking about the office environment because I've never worked anywhere else, even though I've worked as a casual employee in earlier on, immediately after college, but those don't come naturally because it was 2 months, 3 weeks contracts, so they don't count so much to me. So every time I talk about the office, please understand that I'm talking about any other workplace, whether it's in a store, whether it's in a construction site. I mean all that. Any workplace that you go to, you're going to find people who are already there, or you're even going to be employed with other people. As a matter of fact, it's easier when you're employed with a team of other people, because now you come in as your own clique. You come in as your own group, and it's easier to make friendships that way, because you're all new, you don't know anything, and you're trying to learn together. But if you are alone, please don't be pressured, don't be under pressure to make friendships, because friendships in the office are a complicated game. It's just uh, we are going to discuss that one day. We are going to discuss office friendships, and if they are really friendships or they are just relationships that just happen because you are working together. And I know it's hard because you're spending, like we keep saying, you spend so much time in the office, but you'd rather be peaceful in the office because you took your time to know people than be in a hurry to make friendships. Listen, the faster you make friends at a new workplace, the faster, trust me, the faster you're going to lose them. I know for sure. I have been working for the last 14 years of my life. I know. I have seen these things, so I know what I'm talking about. Go slow. It's true you can make very meaningful friendships in the office. It's true. But most times, like 90% of the time, it doesn't happen that way. They're just your colleagues, period. And we are going to talk about these things. Let me not go ahead of myself. My point is, go slow. Like, don't be under pressure to make friends. It's not advisable. And I know we know these things because we've worked for companies before. Those of us who have been working for a while, like myself, it's important to just be neutral. There's going to be a few people who will show up, who will want to have conversations with you. It's okay, have conversations with people. It's normal. Have conversations with people, but don't let it go overboard. Something else that is very important to note: do not overshare information about yourself. You're new. Who told you that anybody cares to know who you are? Nobody cares to know who you are, where you've come from, how your family is, how many people are in your family, how you got the job in the first place. Most people, if anyone comes to you and they want to know these things, trust me, it's not for your good. It's to know how to go against you. So don't overshare information about you. Even if they ask, don't share. Don't overshare. Just say the things that you need to say, things that you know will not damage you, will not damage your reputation. Also, don't be in groups that are discussing other colleagues or co-workers. Don't be found in such groups, please. You don't know these people, you don't know who they are discussing. Basically, you don't know them. Even if you've seen them, you don't know them. So you don't know whether the things that are being said about this person are true. So why are you even involved? Why are you even there? The best thing to do is to walk away. It's okay, you're going to look weird. And they are probably going to start gossiping about you. But you know what? They'll gossip about you for 1 week. Then the next week, all they'll have for you is respect. Because you understand who you are, you understand why you're there, and you don't want to be involved in funny cliques. Something else that is related to that point is avoid making comments about things that no one asked you about. Oh my god, I know that sounds so tough, but imagine it's reality. Do not comment about things that nobody asked you about. Unless someone comes to you and asks you a question, don't share information about things that nobody asked you about. Don't comment anything, even if you see things being done weirdly. Don't comment. And also, when you comment about things that you've been asked about, be wise when you do it, because you never know words can be easily used against you. The third thing that I think as a new employee you should do is ask questions. Oh my god, I wish someone taught me this before I started working. But I had to figure out a way to do it anyway. But please ask questions. I remember when I was first employed, I went to like my first day in that office. I was so scared of asking questions. Listen, you don't even know anything. You go to a new company, you guys, you don't know much. You only know this little, like 5% of the company, what they do and what your role is or what you're expected to do, the value that you're supposed to bring into the company. That's the much you know. You're supposed to ask questions, and don't be ashamed about asking questions. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like people will think I don't know, or people will think I'm stupid. Let them think you're stupid, but ask questions. Let me tell you, I have learned in all these years that asking questions makes you learn faster. You learn about the company faster if you know how to go to the right people and ask questions. Especially people that you're working in the same department with. They know more about everything that relates to your job than anyone else. So go to them. I know some employees or some co-workers don't share information freely. Some think they'll when the more they answer questions about the work to you, like you look like a threat to them basically. But ask questions either way. Even if you find someone who does not want to share information, you'll find two who are willing to share information. And even if no one wants to share information, go to your employer, go to the manager, go to the line manager, go to the overall boss if you have access to them. Talk to them, ask them questions. Your HR, whoever employed you, go and ask questions. But even not going there, the people that you're working in the same department with are your allies. They are your allies. They are the people who know everything that surrounds your work. I've just remembered something. You guys, I have suffered in these workplaces. It's not even funny. I remember I was telling you a story of the first place I worked at. I was so scared I did not ask questions. So for a full day, I did not go to the washroom because I was too scared to ask where the washrooms were. Imagine. I was too scared to ask about lunch, where people go for lunch. So I did not have lunch. I sat there the whole day. It was the most daunting time in my employment life. I'm telling you the truth. It was so bad. It kept happening every other place because I am an introvert. I'm not the kind of person who will go into a room and whoa, I'm not, unfortunately. And if I do that with you, it's because I have been with you for a long time. I know you, I know how you are going to react, I know you're not going to judge me, blah 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 blah. But naturally I am a very introverted person. So I have suffered in every other place that I have worked. The previous company that I worked for, I even convinced the management to come up with a policy where they buy lunch for every new employee at least the first week. Man, because I suffered, I know. So every new employee that joined that organization, I made it my business to show them around. When I think I know I looked weird, but as an administrator, I think somehow people thought it was part of my job. I don't know. But I made it my business. Every single one of them, they can testify. I made it my business to show them where the washrooms were, where the water dispenser is, where the kitchen is in case they needed something in the kitchen. Basically everything that I thought they needed to know and that surrounds their work. Show them even where the printer is, if it's not anywhere where they can see. I made it my business to show people around. That way someone feels like, first of all, they are welcome, and they feel like it opens them up to ask questions. Because if they've seen that you've taken initiative to show them around, then they'll not get stuck. They'll not be stuck if they need something. They'll come to you and ask, can I have a stapler? Can I have this? If I need this, who can I go to? If I need this, who can I go to? Like it becomes very easy for new employees to ask questions. So ask questions. Whether you're listened to or not, ask questions. Even if it makes you look like you don't know anything, ask questions. And especially questions that have to do with your work. Because like I said, every company does things differently. It doesn't matter whether you have 20 years of work experience. The way you did things in the previous company. So it's always good to ask questions. Okay? Something else about asking questions. It means you make minimal mistakes. And you avoid so many problems that come with not asking questions. When you ask questions, you prevent yourself from going through frustrations that come with a new employee, where you're expected to make so many mistakes. If you ask questions, then you avoid those mistakes, and that builds your confidence. The other thing, the final thing, and very important, please be confident. Being confident about your job. Listen, if the organization took you through an interview or several of them, and they found you capable of doing the job, that means they trust in you to do the job. So don't go there and go there with an attitude of, I am just a new employee and I don't know anything, or go with an attitude of, I have to be shown everything. Yeah, there's a few things that will be shown, but confidence, going there with confidence goes a long way. Make sure that the things that you know are visible. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm talking about. Make sure that the skills that you carry, or the value that you carry with yourself that enabled you to get this job, that is visible. Make sure that it's visible. Let people see that this is not just a new employee, but they know why they are here. Do not leave your confidence uko behind. Walk with it. If anything, let your confidence go ahead of you. But if you put into place all these things that we've mentioned, and others that I may not have remembered while recording this, if you're a newly employed person, please put into consideration the things that we've outlined above. Wow, that sounds like we are reading something, but you guys know what I mean. Put them into consideration and you'll have a very easy time navigating new workplaces, because it's really daunting. It's hard. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has experienced these things. It will make your life easier there. It will even demand respect from colleagues, from the people that you find there, and from your bosses, and from your generally your colleagues. They are going to respect you because you respected yourself first. Something they say about first impressions. If you go there with these things that we've outlined and others that I might have forgotten to mention, it gives an impression of someone who is confident, someone who knows what they are doing, someone who knows why they are there, someone who respects themselves. And listen, nobody respects themselves and other people have a hard time respecting them back. People always treat you the way you treat yourself. Yes, people treat you the way you treat yourself. So love yourself and people will love you back. Respect yourself, people will respect you back. So thank you so much, my people, for staying with me in this episode. I hope you've learned a few things or two, and I hope you're going to be able to implement them. And if you like this kind of content, kindly share, like, comment. You guys, comment on my videos. Let me know what you guys have learned that you didn't know. Or share your experiences. Actually go down there in the comment section. Share your horrible first day, 2-day, first week experience at a new workplace. We need to share these things and laugh about them so that we can help others. And when you share, please also share how you managed, how you navigated through them, because it will be helping someone else who is newly employed to understand how to navigate through such hardships. Yeah, please share this content. Please subscribe to this channel. Do not just watch and go away, you guys. Subscribe, and let's grow this channel because it's something that is important to all of us. Workplaces are like our second homes. Yeah, so please share so that we can grow this channel. It will help my channel to grow. Okay, goodbye.